did it again. I bought another bike. I always seem to buy bikes in rapid succession. Like within a month, I buy 2 or 3. And then I live with them for a year. So anyway, it was rather spontaneous, unplanned. But I bought another GS. I now have 2. I've got 4 bikes, right? And there's a big difference between 3 and 4 motorcycles. For me anyway. You either have 10 or 7 and you collect them, and some of them are project bikes and some of them are, garage queens, and some of them are daily riders, but you've got a collection and you accept that you've got a collection and you ride them irregularly, or some of them. Or you like me, or you have one bike and that's just your daily rider. I'm in the lucky position where I can afford more than one. And I have 4. I've had 5 in maximum for a brief period of time. But I did find with 4, it's hard to get to ride them every week. Anyway, so besides the fact that the garage space is limited and the wife has asked that one of them goes, I was in a real quandary as to which one to sell. So I've got my brand new Ninja, which I'm not selling for a long time. I've got Tony, my cafe racer, who I'm not selling in the short term. It's too much attention. I really enjoy it. I've got the Harley Davidson Sportster, quite a new bike, low mileage, and I have got the GS that I bought nearly 2 months ago now. A 2004, inexpensive, high mileage. But I've loved it. I've loved it so much that I actually took it to the GS Rallye last weekend, down in Rotorua. And it performed flawlessly all the way down, all the way back, and all the way during the day. Comfortable, powerful, great. I do want to do dirt more, so I'm gonna do that. But on the way back, I was thinking, why don't I? Well, first of all, which one do I sell? Well, instead of selling the cheap GS again and then having 3 bikes, I decided to sell the Sportster. Difficult decision, and I will miss it, and I will regret it, no doubt. But let me sell the Sportster, sell the GS, and buy a newer GS, which is exactly what I've done. Except for selling the old GS, I still got the old GS. So my wife came home from work during the week, and instead of seeing 3 bikes that she expected, she saw 4. And instead of the Harley, she saw another GS, which is even bigger and occupies more space. So I had a problem. I've got to deal with the other GS. I'm busy spray painting it. Let me show you. I'm cleaning it up and making it aesthetically better. I'll just show you. There we go. You can see I'm busy drying some parts. A bit of a polarizing color. It was navy. My wife says she don't like it. Baby blue. I like it. But I do have a couple of blues that I can play with, and I'll just see how that one comes out. I'll put it on, go for a ride, see how I feel. Otherwise, I'll go a slightly darker blue. So, yeah. So I now have a 2015 R1200GS with all the toys. It's got the Garmin map, obviously, but it's got cruise control. It's got rain, road, Enduro Pro modes. It's got a lot more power, 110 to 125 out of new, so who knows what they are now, but there's a big kick in power, which I'm really enjoying. Slightly different audio, or slightly different sound from the exhaust. I actually really like my old GS's sound, so I might do something there. And it doesn't come with panniers. My previous GS came with the BMW panniers, so it comes with racks. And top rack and side racks, I think the side racks are givey. Definitely the top one is. I prefer a top box anyway, so that's fine. I'll get one. Anyway, let me show you. Come and have a look in the garage. Right. Saturday morning. First of all, here's my baby, my beautiful Kawasaki 1000 SX Ninja 2024. Loving it. Here it is. Here's the new one. It's also blue. It's also that same sort of navy blue. Ironic that the other one was as well. But yeah, like I said, it's a 2015. It's got fairly high mileage. It was a rental actually, which means it's been really well maintained. I got it from a Honda Motorcycles in Auckland. So yeah, it's got fairly high mileage, but not nearly as high as the previous one, obviously. And yeah, I'm so looking forward to getting into it. I've already ordered a few little things. It comes with the protection bars. So that's nice. I don't have to pay for that. My other one didn't have that, and I had to buy them and install them myself for my very first GS. And they're the racks. Yeah, so I haven't even figured out what this is for. I think, what does it say on it? Something in Japanese. I don't know what it is. Anyway, it looks pretty standard. I've seen these all over the show. And then it's got this Give You Top Box rack, which I may or may not keep. Anyway, so that's the new baby. I'm very excited. And I'm going to do some good trips with it. Here's the original one that I bought 2 months ago, the 2004. It looks a bit rough because I've taken all the fairings off to paint them. Yeah, but I must say I really whoopsie. I really enjoyed this so much when I was traveling. Comfortable, nice sound, plenty of power, purred all the way. So I now have two GSs, and I want to keep them both. But I'm going to have to sell this one. Maybe I'll try and convince Daryl to buy it. He can sell his one and buy it. I'll give him a good price. And then we can go adventuring together. We shall see. And of course, here's Tony. While we're here, we might as well look at Tony. Oh, and this is the exhaust off the Ninja. I'll keep that. But I've put a new exhaust on. Let me show you. It looks so much better. I'm really pleased with it. It sounds so much better. And also, if you look from behind, it doesn't unbalance the bike. Okay, so the stock one is like a big bloody thing that hangs over here. And honestly, when I take my hand off the handlebars, the whole bike sort of slightly leans to the right because it's heavy on that side. So this looks much better. I haven't dealt with this yet. I will at some point get a tail tidy because this is nasty. Anyway, there it is. My new GS. Oh, and one last thing. I bought this. It's a DJI MIC2, which I have paired to my Osmo, and I'll just pop it into my helmet and magnetized and give it a go, because I'm tired of wires hanging out of my helmet, fluffy things that I half eat while I'm riding, and I just watched a YouTuber explain how it works and that it actually works well, so I went out, bit the bullet and bought it. The sound quality is excellent, and I'll show a little bit of examples of that. I've always had problems with my sound, especially at high speed. So this seems to have solved that problem. The only thing is it's not always reliably coming on when I use instant shoot on the camera. I'm not sure why. I have to troubleshoot that every second time. But at least it buzzes in my helmet, so I know it's on. Anyway, so that's also something that will hopefully improve the videos. Waiting for the DJI to connect. Come on, connect. There we go. It made a vibration, but I didn't feel it. I heard it, which is very curious. Don't know why that's the case. Okay, and we are off. Let's see how this works. Wireless audio. And we are off to Mitre 10 to go and pick up some paint. Oh, I do love my Ninja. To pick up some paint in order to spray my older GS, a light blue. I now have two GSs, I'm embarrassed to say. I have a 2004, the one that I bought like 6 weeks ago. And then I also have one that I bought this week. A 2015 water-cooled R1200GS, in really good condition and well maintained by Honda Botany, and
yeah, it's got high mileage, 100,000 k, 60,000 miles. But the other one is 150, and I've had a bike with 200 and something, and they've all purred perfectly, so I have no concerns about that. Plus, this is my brand new bike with only 437 kilometers on the clock. Alright, I'm heading out to Mitre 10, pick up the paint. I've got to try and dodge the rain, which is coming. We're in for heavy showers in about an hour, maybe hour and a half. And I want to be back before that starts because I'm not geared for rain. I've also got my new exhaust on, so I bought a Acro ripoff. It's the same make and model as the one that I put onto my old Ninja, which I really liked. I do like the change in the audio, in the sound coming out of it. It gives the Ninja a nice growl, and it takes away that suffocating sound that it comes with from the factory, and that very big exhaust. Look, it's not like the two clams that I had on my older Ninja. So it looked a lot better in its own right, but it was still very heavy, and it was still very lopsided. The bike looked unsymmetrical, if I can call it that. And this one is a small little pipe. It tucks up much more neatly, and the bike doesn't look asymmetric from behind. And yeah, and it sounds better. And it was cheap, so you know what can go wrong. I popped a dB killer in it as well because it was pretty damn loud without it. It was distractingly loud. And yep, done. Anyway, so the big news is, yep, I sold, I had to sell one bike. And as I discussed on my trip down to Rotorua for the GS Rallye, I had to pick one of the four. Because I need more space back in my garage. And frankly, 4 bikes is quite a lot more effort than 3 bikes, I'll have you know. In terms of not just cost, but also in terms of just getting a chance to ride all of them. If you're going to have a fleet, have 7 or 10, and then you know that you know half of them are on hold, and you ride them like that as experimental, you know, as occasional riders, and you love maintaining and looking after them. Then get a whole bunch of old bikes, don't get new bikes. So having 4. It seems that 3 is easier. So I went out and I bought another GS. Now I have 2 GSs and I still have 4 bikes because I traded in the Harley Davidson. I sold my Sportster, and I do feel a bit sad about it. I love my Sportster. I love the agricultural vibrations, the noise, the cruiser style. But the reality is, every time I came to the garage, my attention was drawn to the Ninja, or to the GS, or to Tony, my cafe racer, and the Sportster got a little bit neglected. And I was trying to figure out why, because every time I ride it, I enjoy it. And I think it's just I'm not part of that culture. I've tried to be a Harley Davidson guy. I've been to a couple of, you know, I'm a club member. I went to a couple of events. I enjoyed the people. They seemed welcoming and cheerful. But I like the Sportster. I don't like any of the other Harleys. You know, they're massive. They're big, dolphin, whale-looking things, and they're just not for me. And so all the rides that I go on, most of the guys have got, you know, sport glides, road glides, street glides, whatever, these big things, CVOs. And I'm the one in the baby Skirtster. And yeah, it just wasn't giving me the joy. Even though it was a great bike, I loved it. And after I got back from the Rotorua GS Rallye, I really enjoyed the whole genre. I was longing to go onto the dirt again, and I just enjoyed the big, comfortable bike and the whole genre. Anyway, so the Harley had to go. I looked online for a good GS. Obviously, I would have liked a 2018 or later, but you know, their prices are up there, and I'm not spending 40 grand or 30 grand New Zealand on a GS. So where's the best bang for the buck? Well, you go water cooled, right? So my oil cooled was 2004, the very first year. Servos are fine, ABS is fine, it rides like a dream, sounds great. But I went with a 2015 BMW R1200GS. So it's not the first year was 2013, so it's a couple of years into its life cycle. It was a fair price, they listed it at 14 grand. And I ended up doing a straight swap on the Sportster. I paid in zero, they took the bike, they gave me the other bike. And I was just wondering about that. When I arrived, I told the guy, I said, look, this is the problem, my Harley is worth more than your GS and I want to trade it in, how does this work? And he said, well, it doesn't. And then he did a bit of research and we could see them being advertised for like $18,000 for my year and low mileage. But then when he looked at the book value, it was in the 12 to 14 range anyway. So I was happy enough to trade it in. I'd always prepared myself for disappointment and was willing to even throw in the 2004 GS and maybe get a slightly newer one, but that seemed like a difficult thing to pull off. Ooh, I hope the rain doesn't come earlier. Eek. Anyway, took it for a spin. I've never ridden a water-cooled GS before. It sounds quite different. On D-cell it's got that familiar rumble. On X-cell it has a louder, more guttural sound. I'm not sure if that's stock or if that's an old exhaust or if the guys have modified it in some way. It looks stock to me. And frankly, I actually enjoy the older GS's sound. There's something familiar about that lovely rumble. And so I need to think about how I'm going to change the exhaust on the newer one, or just get used to it as being the new. I need to sort of listen to some others to make sure that it is accurate. It's got a lot more oomph, I must say. I'm sure my 2004 is not developing the 110 or horsepower that it claims by a long way now. And this new one claims 125, and I'm assuming it won't get that either. But that's a big difference, and I feel it. It really does pull strongly when you're revving it, and that's quite exciting. It's a lot more exciting. So I can only imagine what the 135 or 136 horsepower one is like. Never mind the 1300. It's going to be absolutely amazing. But it's a significant jump up in quality of and newness, even though it's had high mileage. I've looked at all of the records. It's climbed up significantly every year, so it's been in use and it's been maintained regularly, which is exactly what you want from a bike. So hopefully it'll be trouble-free for a long time. And now I'm busy playing with it. Now I'm installing, all the different little toys. What's nice about it, it's funny that I'm talking about it, I'm not riding it, but anyway, what's nice about it, it's got cruise control, which I like. It's got riding modes, rain, road, enduro. It's got the plug-in, so it's got Enduro Pro. So it's got all of the, the nice things. It's got EAS or I think it's EAS. It's got obviously over and above the ABS Pro. It's got stability control. I'm not sure if it's lean angle like the Ninja. I don't think so. I think that came in a later model. And it's got all of the rack mounts on the sides, and it's got a give you on the back. So it's I don't want panniers. It didn't come with panniers. I'm not a fan of hard case panniers, even though they are very useful and have turned out to be exceedingly nice for traveling. I don't like the look of them. I prefer a top box, and so I have a top box coming for it. And now I've got a spare GS. So my wife came home thinking, now I'll have 3 bikes, and she came back to still 4 bikes. But worse, not only do I still have 4 bikes, I have 2 GSs, and they are big, right? So there's more space taken up in the garage. Anyway, I reassured her the 2004 is going. It's a reluctant sale. I've really enjoyed it. It's amazing. I've loved it, and I've only had it for 2 months. But I was so enamored by it that I had to upgrade to a newer one. And so somebody else is going to be lucky, because I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to sell it pretty much for what I bought it for, which was an excellent price, even though I spent sort of $1,500 on it through a service and mods and things. So someone will be lucky. Hopefully someone I know, so I can go riding with them together, do some dirt tracking. The only problem with the old 2004, which is why I'm on the road right now, is I want to... it's got some scratches on the front fairing. And to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the navy. I used to have a red one, and the red popped and it looked nice and it caught your attention. The dark blue kind of fades into the background a little bit, so even though that's the stock color and I shouldn't fiddle with it, you know, it's a 20-year-old bike, it's time to play. So I'm going to go and get a lighter blue spray paint, automotive spray paint if I can, and yeah, give it a bit of a sand and a spray and try and reinvigorate it. And if I like the look of it, yeah, I might go and do the same for the 2015. You know, it's 9 years old. It'll be 10 years old in a few months. So it's not like I want to preserve stock necessarily. Yeah, we'll see. Have a bit of fun. I'm not the best spray painter, so it's something to be mindful of, but I will do my best and see how we go. I think I have made a mistake with the... I think I have made a mistake. It looks like it's pouring already. Damn it. Oh well. And I didn't bring any rain gear. I thought I could slip in and slip out. So anyway, we'll do our best. Hopefully it'll stay on the horizon and not catch me. But I'm going to have to be super quick. I specifically bought the DJI mic. I can see a little pop-up under my nose that it's working. I'm just not sure how long it takes to work. So I'm gonna shut off and I'm gonna push the button and start counting as soon as I see the camera pop up, and then I'll know how long it takes for the microphone to kick in. 5, 6 there. I heard it at 7, at 5. Okay, the rain has started to drizzle, so I'm turning my Osmo off because I've lost the door, so it's no longer waterproof. So I'd rather stick it in my pocket until we are ready to go. Until that's ready. Cheers. Okay, so need to obviously take the GS for its first official ride on the channel. There it is. You know, it's new to me and it's all exciting because it's modern in comparison to the 2004, but there's been another 9 years of GSs after this, so it's pretty old school for everybody. So I'm not expecting to excite anybody by this. I'm just excited, sorry. Okay, so the nice thing is that it's got a remote, so I don't even need to have a key. It's keyless. Put that on. And... and there's the Navigator 4. I'm going to get rid of this. It's so old school. It's basically a Garmin 660 from 15 years ago. Plus it's not working properly. I don't think. The wheel here doesn't work with it. I'm not sure why. Anyway, I'll put my usual copyright solution on it. Let's give it a start. And off we go, just for a quick spin. Gotta love that sound. Yeah. And off we go. Oh, it's got a good kick. And the other nice thing is that it's got normal indicators, right? Familiar indicators. None of this left and right button stuff like a Harley. Alright. Also just another test of the sound quality with the DJI. Although this morning now, it took 4 times to connect. And when you're riding, you don't need that drama. So I've got to figure that out. That's not going to work for me as a solution. Okay, my tire pressure is 2.6 and 3. That's a little high. It should be 2.5 and 2.9. So I guess my portable hand gauge is possibly overreading or underreading a little. So I'll just have to let the air out a bit. I'm assuming the BMW ones are more accurate than the little handheld devices. I have bought those little things you screw onto your tyres for my other bike, and then it goes onto your phone and tells you the tyre pressure, which I don't know if it's any good. I'll give it a go. It's certainly a lot better than having to manually check it every few weeks. Should be every time you ride, but I tend to do it every few weeks only. Anyway, beautiful day in paradise. It really does pull. Goodness. That makes it worth it on its own. So I'm just going to do a quick little ride to Rallye Beach and back. This is also quite nice that you can turn this. I'm not sure if I'm turning it up or it goes down. It's not a very high windshield. You can get bigger windshields, but I'm not getting any buffeting, so it's actually quite effective. We'll see what it's like when we get onto the highway speeds. What else can this thing tell me? It's got cruise control. I need to work out how that works. So you turn that, and then you push. So let me just get up to say 80, and push. And the light came on. So now I have cruise control over 2 of my 3 bikes. 2 of my 4 for now. That's cool. It does make traveling so much easier when it's hands-free. And I'm assuming gear change, throttle, brake, anything will turn it off. There we go. Yep. What a big comfortable machine. It's going to be a real challenge when I go on sport touring adventures, which to take, because effectively the Ninja 1000 is a sport tourer, and the GS without the GSA, without the adventure, is really a sport tourer as well that has some off-road capability. So which one to pick? One's very comfortable, one's very racy and sporty, and comfortable, but nothing is as comfortable as a GS. Will I miss my Harley? Yep. Do I have regrets yet? No. I've bought some new buttons because these red buttons are a little faded, so on Temu or AliExpress, can't remember, they're not cheap, but they'll be shiny and red and new, so we'll put those on. It'll give it a little bit of a cleaner, more fresh look. Beautiful day down in Rallye. Lots of bikers out, that's cool. Whenever there's sun in the sky, you'll see bikers here enjoying this road. But for me, I'm just going to pull off here, have another look at the bike. You know, it's a bike that you look back at when you get off, and head home. I have done one thing already, and that's put a shoe on. The side stand support even has a nice little logo on it, just in case I put it down in a field. I don't want to sink into the grass. Oh, and I also put a battery tender on. Let me just plug that back in. Okay. Welcome to the family, Gus 2. Well, it's actually Gus 3. We had Red Gus, then we had Old Gus, and now we've got Dog Gus, or Gus Dog. See? Bait dog. Nice. Lots of adventures ahead, I hope. Always remember never to park slightly downhill on a big heavy bike, because they are quite hard to reverse out. Very nimble, hey? For such a big bike. Really is. Surprisingly nimble for what it is. Now, I believe it's got a quick shifter. And I've tried it, it does work, but hell, it's clunky. It's not buttery smooth like my Ninja. Let me just give it a go up the hill. You've really got to yank quite hard. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, it works. You just have to pull quite sharply. Let me try and go down now. 4, 3. Whoop, it doesn't like 3 to 2. It was quite a lurch. So I think I might not downshift on the quick shifter. It really is quite agricultural. But up is fine. Let's do it again. Second, third, fourth. Yeah, I can do that. But I think I will downshift normally. Now, I'm going to paint this one as well. I just want a color that stands out. I think I'm going to go with the second blue that I bought. So the first gust is going to go the light baby blue. And I may paint it red if I'm going to sell it. Because not everybody will like that blue. Although I think it pops. And I put it on my video earlier, Bikes and Beards. Sean did a walk around on it in 2017, so I think somewhere around there, 7 years ago. And it always, I always remember that, going back to look at that one. I really like the colours, and I've picked something similar, so we'll see how that goes. Well, I have also purchased a new seat for the other Gus, because the current seat is, it's some of the tabs have broken off, and it's a little bit icky, a little bit old. Where this one's seat is still fine. It's called, I think it's a Saddleman. Very nice. I'm looking forward to it arriving. It wasn't cheap, but then the new ones are flipping expensive, so I've got to take that into account. And I got it from a guy, Nelson, who's shipping it up for me. And yeah, so with a paint job and a new seat, old Gus is going to be ready. There was a nice adventure friend. And I've got a top box coming. But I did a cheapie. I did a $200 Stewart special off Temu or AliExpress, I can't remember, one of those. It's $200 for a top box, right? And it looks like an aluminium Outback or Trekker or something, and it's definitely not going to be. And it comes already with its own attachment bracket. So that's going to be fun to see if it's worthwhile or whether I wasted $200. I hope not. Because I do like top boxes, I don't like panniers, although they're very convenient. They really, really are. I can get almost everything that I can get into the two-side panniers in their compressed mode into a top box, and I very seldom have jacked apart the side panniers to full width. Anyway, so that's about it. I have got quite a few little things on the go. I've got a new helmet coming, which I'll talk about. I've got this new mic. I've got some gear. I've got 2 new bikes. It's all happening, and hopefully I'll be posting a lot more stuff for my own memories and for anybody else who wants to enjoy the ride. So that's basically all. C'est la vie. Enjoy your week.